All right, again, here we go. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, fishing accomplices, good morning and welcome back to fishing. So it is the second day I'm giving TOG fishing a go. It is October 13th, 2024, and we're going to give it another shot. We're fishing the Western Sound again, but we're in a different area now. Originally the plan was to go out east today, but the conditions plus some other things just didn't really work out, so I'm going to keep that in my back pocket for a nicer day. But we are in the Western Sound. It's going to be some pretty stiff winds, looking at, getting up to sustained 10 knots, potentially more. Should die down, but we're looking probably 10 to maybe 13 at points. So I came here because it was one of the options that looked a bit more sheltered, so I figured let's give this a go. I haven't fished here for a little while. Water temps right now hovering around 65, and we're fishing peak tide, and we're going to be fishing the outgoing probably the next hour or two, so could certainly work. I'm going to look for some shallow structure to drop some jigs for crabs, and I know there can be some very big fish here, and especially after that one we lost in the last session. Definitely got the TOG fever, so let's see if we can make the most of it and get on some good action, because if that's what we do, it's true. We're about to get some fishing accomplished. First spot. I don't think I've ever anchored here before, so we're gonna give it a go. Got some nice rocks down here. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can hold. All right, I think second shot anchoring. I think we're on now. So let's start chumming up. Get some claws in the water, some legs. See who's home and see if we can get a quick bite going. Okay, let's see what we can do. I've never really tried this spot, but a few times I have TOG fished here. I've gotten okay results. I know there's giants around here. I've just never been here, lined it up quite right, but let's see what we can do. Piece of green crab. Half-ounce jig head. Barely felt that one. Ah, yes. What a start. That's exactly what we wanted. Not. But good to know there's something down there. I need that back. Toadfish to start things off. Oh, we're getting bit. Good sized shores, which means if there's going to be legal fish, there should be something here. That'll go with us. Big porgy. Biggest porgy I got in these waters in a while. Sound that is. 14, sure. Well, it's certainly an improvement. Still won't do it. It's about to move, but I tried tossing the jig in a slightly different spot and got 2 nicer shorts in the last clip, so I'm willing to give it 4 more crabs. And that's the ceiling, unless we get some kind of improvement. I mean, if you keep pulling up really nice shorts, I'll maybe give it a few more, just because I'd like to think there maybe could be something over the threshold here, but it's getting to be time to move. We can't do that.
Yeah, so I stayed at this spot for a good 40-ish minutes. It was the first spot I wanted to check out, and I specifically wanted to start here because it looked like a spot that maybe would be overlooked, because there's a lot more dramatic looking stuff in the area of this particular spot that I anchored, and I don't think I fished this particular, set of rocks in this area. I have fished here for, quite a few times for fluke and a couple times for TOG and porgies, but regardless, I was still getting some decent bites. A lot of small fish, both porgies and TOG, mainly TOG. And, every so often I would pull up some nicer shorts. And I do like to think that if you see those higher quality shorts, that could mean that there's some better sized fish in the area. But as I said, I didn't want to put too many eggs in this basket, or crabs in this basket, for lack of a better term. And ultimately, while I was able to pull up some nicer fish, the conditions made the choice for me, as my anchor ended up popping loose. And as you can probably tell, the wind is really starting to pick up, and it's not a very friendly spot to be anchored up. And kind of like last time, I'm omitting a lot of the smaller fish from this part of the video. It's just too repetitive.
That's a nice one. Definitely better. Close, but I don't think so. It's probably like 15 inches. I'm not going to measure it. I know it's not 16. Alright, I was willing to try that spot for a little bit longer, but basically the conditions made the choice for me. Wind really ratcheted up, and the tide I think switched, and my anchor popped loose, so I figured it's not really worth it to fish there. It's getting too treacherous, so we're making a move to an area I think that's a bit more sheltered, and we're going to set up shop and see if we can build another bite up, hopefully a little bit more peacefully. This one's got some shoulders. Getting better. All right, we're in a new spot right now. Last spot, fish around, just nothing great. I'm starting to think my only real path to success today is I'm gonna have to fish areas that, most of these boats are not gonna wanna go near. Put another way, I fish more like I'm in a kayak, which I am, and not like I'm in a boat, which I'm not. Because those fish that are in the boat spots, they're gonna get picked off right away. And they've been hammered this weekend, but the fish in like the more, treacherous areas, those boats can't really get to, and I can, so I think that's kind of the tactic I need to do, is really get into all this really tight external structure and make this work for me, as opposed to, getting into the more wide open stuff, as good as it looks, because that stuff's probably just been beaten to death the last 2 days. All right, I'm gonna switch jigs just because kind of got a blind spot. Fishing really light jigs. I like to keep them light, but what I was fishing I think is even a little bit too light for the current tide situation. I'm gonna fish this JC jig, which is I think just the right weight. This is a little bit bigger profile. It's a longer shanked hook, but I wasn't really having too many problems getting fish in these in the last session, so let's see how they do here. Finally some better. That'll be close. I don't think so though. Took a while to get down through that guy. Close, but I'd say probably 15 and a half. Took a bite out of this one. I think it's fresh. Spear fishing maybe? I don't know. Big. Very nice porgy. 15. The average size I was keeping back in the South Shore a few weeks ago. Yeah, well, that one didn't quite go as well as I was hoping. We found plenty of fish. It was just so many small for short tog. And I think, you know, if I had the option to explore a bit more, you know, this wind wasn't doing what it's doing, I'd maybe have a shot at getting on some better fish. But yeah, it's keep an eye out here. Some serious turbulence. Ooh, a little sketchy. But yeah, it's pretty nasty out here. I've had enough. I want to go home and just relax for a bit. So I'm going to try and do this at least one more time tomorrow, but not here, and hopefully the wind's a bit more cooperative. It is going to be blowing, but at least it'll be from a different direction tomorrow, so hoping to make that work well, and hopefully this will just pick up with that second part. All right, we're back on the water. Next day. Yesterday wasn't bad. It was just not ideal conditions. Today is also not ideal conditions, but at least they're a little more ideal for fishing an area that I'm confident in. Would have loved to have gone out east this weekend, but the weather was just not lined up for it. But we're back in, crack of dawn, even though you can't tell because it's very cloudy out. West winds. Winds are going to be coming out potentially like 15-20 knots once things really get going, but we got a few hours. We got a little bit of an opening. In the meantime though, we're just going to see if we can find some good structure to drop on. I was talking to a guy yesterday that said he doesn't even bother with an anchor, and I always will say, you know, I'll go to the grave saying the anchor is the way to go, or spot lock if you're tog fishing. But I will admit this time of year the fish are a bit more aggressive than they are, you know, a month from now when you really need to be right on top of them. So I'm gonna try a few spots that I used to do well in, but before anchoring I'm just gonna try and drop a few pieces and see if there's any, you know, willing fish there. But anyways, yeah, still got mid 60s water temps, overcast, etc. Let's see if we can make it happen and round this weekend out proper. All right, I think we've got a little bit of a wind and tide situation, wind against tide, so just wanted to make sure it kind of settled up. I know I talked about not anchoring to start, but it's pretty high tide and I have a good feeling about this spot, so let's not waste any time. Let's just get the bite going and start dropping crab. Tide is nearly peaked, so I don't expect too much more movement. Get 3 crabs down there and see what happens. Hands have been torn up this weekend from all these crabs and blackfish fins. I'm almost looking for a little break. Keyword being almost, because the break is going to be work. But whatever, I like my job. Alright, seeing some big marks down there. I'm curious what those are, but let's see what wants to eat some crabs. Hopefully some big old TOG. Got our J and C jig. Start right with that today. Go back and forth between this and bottom sweeper jigs. Go as light as possible. That's a good one. I don't know what this is. Let's find. Wow, what a massive toadfish. Oh my god. That's a personal best that I didn't ask for. Good god, look at that thing. Thing's like 1.5 pounds. Do not want to go in that mouth. That is a massive, massive toad. Look at those teeth. Well, at least I can say I got a personal best today. Despite not being the one we want, but still plenty of fishing to be done, hopefully, weather permitting. Weather and all other factors. That's a one shot. Alright. Well, that's a good sign. If these guys are there, might get some actual mixed bag today. Got to be a lot bigger, but as they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. I've seen keepers this time of year. That's a better one. One of the most orange TOG I've ever seen. Look how orange that thing is. I don't want to try too long here, just because I'm just not feeling this spot so much. I mean, we got a nice TOG in the last one, nice short, but I feel like I can do better elsewhere, so try one more round of crabs, and unless we get another like very close keeper or really good bite, we're gonna move after we finish this batch.
Yeah, so I anchored and re-anchored a couple times and even tried a little bit of fishing without the anchor, just drifting around a bit, though I didn't include that footage just because I only got small fish. But after a while and anticipating the wind picking up, I decided to make a move close to where I got that really nice fish that I lost in the last video. Additionally, you might notice a slight pivot to my camera. I didn't realize at the time, but part of the mount broke. Fortunately, I was able to use my other camera and switch them out, so I apologize for the weird angle right here.
All right, we tried some deep stuff, we moved around, but now the wind's picking up, and we haven't really found anything too spectacular. It'd be silly not to try this after that fish we lost last time, and how we left the bite in general, so let's give this a shot. See if we can capitalize on what we started last time. Tide's certainly a bit higher. We're gonna turn that bite up and then start fishing whole crabs, see if we can get one of the bigger fish to, you know, get through all these small ones. All right, just reposition the boat a little bit, re-anchored. See if we can get a better hole than where I want to be right now. That's all right. Not bad. Just got an okay size short tug. It's all right. Let's see if we can attract some better sized fish. Just keep getting it down there, keep pulling it up. There's so much structure around here. Like this could be, we can conceivably pull fish from like 25 yards away in every direction.
Yeah, so just a little context. I'm continuing to fish this spot, and this is interesting. I put a crab on there and drop it down, and I, for better or worse, decide to multitask and try and grab some fresh paper towels so I can keep wiping off my lens. But just notice right here, I'm getting the crab on the jig, I'm dropping it down, then I'm just fumbling around with my paper towels, trying to like basically get it out of the bag and hold my rod. And the bail is still open. Like I'm just letting it sink down, and you know, it's still going down, it's still going down, it's still going down. And by this point, it should have hit bottom, but you'll notice the line is still going down. And well, this is when things get a little nuts.
Jeez, didn't even let me get it down. Trying to, that's a good fish too. That's a good fish. Hit on the wood. Oh my god, look at that thing. Look at that thing. Big fish. Oh my gosh. Ah! That was pretty nuts. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. That thing is a behemoth. Hit it on the drop after chumming. It's at least 20 inches. Look at that TOG. It's at least like probably 19 or 20 inches. $20-incher. Okay, we've waited long enough. It's time. I've been dying for some seltzer, and I really wasn't sure if I'd get, you know, a keeper to justify jumping into something new, but we are celebrating, and this, I am very curious. Cactus prickly pear tapache de la calle en mi español. Ooh, that's got some smell to it. It's sweet, for sure, I can tell. It's 40 calories, so not a lot. I guess this is more soda than seltzer. Oh man, it's got some weird undertaste. Like, I don't like Kool-Aid-ish, I guess, but like a little extra kick. I don't even know what term I'd use to describe that. It's almost like pumpkin spicy. I don't even know how to describe this, but yeah, I got this one in the city. It's very interesting. Again, a more expensive can for a price of over $2. I don't know. I don't think I'd buy this again, so I'll give it a 7.8. It's good. I wouldn't say great though, but that fish was great. That was just what I needed. Still had nothing on that fish that snapped me off the other day, but I am not complaining. So let's see if we can get on some more, chum up some more crabs, get some more fish. That's not a bad one. nice one. That's a nice one. Maybe. Barely hooked. But they've got tough mouths. Oh no, the seltzer of the day. I think he's probably like 15 and a half. Oh, yeah. He's like 15 and a half. With his lips kissing the board. Not bad. Not bad. Nice orange male. Didn't even feel him on there. Porky. Sad to say, I haven't seen many of these today. In fact, it's the first one, I think. That's a porgy worth keeping. Yeah, that's a nice porgy. He'll be my dinner one of these nights this week. If we can ever get him to stop flapping. Just about right. That's a better one. Finally, a good fish. Yeah, it's close. That up. Might make it. It'll be close. Probably a little bit under. $15 and a half.
Yeah, so I stayed at the spot where I got that keeper for at least a good hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. I was basically just waiting for that wind to pick up and see what happens, and it definitely did pick up. A little later than forecasted, but once it did get going, it was really blowing, and it was very difficult to fish. I did get a lot of TOG. Like, I'm only showing you a few pieces of it. There were so many short fish. Mainly TOG, a few porgies mixed in, but again, most of them were very small, with a few that were like flirting with 14 and upper 15 inches, but I just could not find another one over that 16-inch threshold. After this, I did move around a bit, tried fishing some stuff that was a bit sheltered, and I got some more short fish. One of the unfortunate things that happened on this day was I lost not one, but 2 anchors, and that's really just something that's going to happen when you're fishing for TOG from a kayak. Unless you have spot lock, of course, or you just don't use an anchor. But, the way I look at it, if you fish an anchor TOG fishing and you never lose one, you're either not fishing hard enough or you're just a phenomenal anchor, loosener or whatever. It's just a necessary evil to getting these fish. But, it's worth it. They're not terribly expensive. The ones I get, at least, they're like $15. So I like to think that, I maybe go through 4 or 5 in the season at the absolute most, maybe more like 2 or 3. But either way, I had a good time, and I was happy to get that one fish and just be out in the water and have a good time catching fish. So what more can you ask for? Thanks for watching, as always. More stuff on the horizon soon. Really appreciate the likes and the comments, etc. And I'll catch you in the water next time. Goodbye from fishing.